Okay, so moving on to section 4 now, it is what we call getting guests gas bagging. Obviously this is using the age-old principle that the best advertising in the world is word of mouth, and that stands true, but it's even more powerful today than ever, because not only are they word of mouth to their friends in a face-to-face or over the phone environment, it's now spread virally over all the social media platforms and the likes. And you know, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to work out the power of that. But how do we encourage and get our guests to actually start talking about our property? Because we know that the more reviews, if you cast your mind back to the online visibility module, we talked about the more reviews you have, the higher quality of reviews that you've got, the more recent the reviews are, the higher you rank on a lot of these platforms. So it is really important to have a lot of them, and preferably good and preferably recent. So it's a continual pursuit to get more and more reviews. It's not just a one-time effort. So we need to be encouraging them to head down that track. And if we think about the guest sequencing, back in there, you know, as they are departing the hotel and after the 7 days after, it's those points there we're trying to encourage them to start talking about us. Even during the stay, if you can get them doing something in the hotel, maybe it's a contest of some description, maybe it's some sort of gimmicky idea that you can actually encourage to get the guest generating what we call user-generated content. Their pictures, you know, if we can get them not only just putting words up, we can get them posting pictures about the hotel using specific hashtags and the like. That creates all that noise and gets a bit of a popularism around the hotel or the property. So there's a few ideas there, but if you want to direct them anywhere, the tip is, you know, we would suggest if you're going to get somebody to, if you had a preference of where you'd want somebody to put a review, there's two areas. One would be TripAdvisor. Now TripAdvisor, as we've talked about earlier, is the biggest player in this space. Sometimes it's hard to see a big player coming down. Much like, you know, Google, it seems really hard to see Google come down, much like Apple. Now, I don't think Apple are at the height they were probably 5 years ago. And maybe they'll get tipped over one day, but once upon a time, nobody could see Nokia getting tipped over. It can happen. But at the moment, TripAdvisor is the go-to resource, the trusted advisor. So if you want to point a guest to any platform to make a review, I'd be trying to point them to TripAdvisor. Or equally, and I definitely consider this equally, I consider Google as an equally important platform for them to be putting reviews on. Now the reason I recommend Google, and again if you cast your mind back to the online visibility module, where we talked about the architecture of Google first page, we had the paid ad section, then we had the Google local search function. The reviews you have on Google, the volume of reviews and how popular you are, that has a big influence on whether you get in that 3-pack or not, where you rank in that whole lineup. So if they click through to more hotels, where do you rank? Are you down the bottom, are you up the top? So Google reviews is really good for your organic listings. So in the Google local search and in the Google organic listings, by having positive reviews, a lot of reviews, it's a really good means to improve your online visibility. So people go to TripAdvisor to check. Google, yes, they'll probably read the reviews there too, but it's more about increasing online visibility. So there's 2 top places to send people to place the reviews for you once you've got them talking. And that's where I'd be sending them. In saying that, any review will do. Okay, on all the platforms, you want plenty of reviews. I think you'll find that if people are on an OTA, if they're constantly booking with Booking.com and say Expedia or What If, they do a good job of guest sequencing and following up and encouraging them to post a review. So you do tend to get a lot of reviews on those platforms as well, which is great because the more reviews and the better they are on those platforms, the better your rankings on those platforms. So any review will do, but if you are going to direct someone to place a review, I would be directing them to TripAdvisor and or Google. That's a great place for them to be once you get them talking.